Okay, so how's it going?
Things are going great. All of our construction projects are on time, under budget. We're working immensely with our construction contractors and our program managers, and everything's running really smooth.
Okay, all right. So how many buildings are going up here?
So we have a total of 5 new buildings, 4 of which are under construction. One is in the last part of the design phase, and that's just the new buildings. And then we also have all the renovations that are going on in the high school and around the district.
Okay. And so what are the buildings going to be used for?
Yeah. So right now we're doing on the high school, we have the multi-purpose, which is going to have CTE built into it. And then we have a CTE building just for CTE. And then across the street, we have the natatorium, which will be the pool. And then we have an early childhood that's going up, and they've started the ground breaking, the like dirt work basically over off Estes Parkway. And then we have the transportation building that will be going over there off Young Street.
Wow. Okay, that's almost seems overwhelming.
You know, it's not necessarily overwhelming just because we have some great partners that are working with us. We have great program managers with Presidio and E4. They're handling a lot of the day-to-day stuff and a lot of the problem solving. So it's really great, as well as our construction partners.
Okay. And so what kind of special things are going to be going on in some of these buildings?
Well, special things. So for example, the multi-purpose, it's going to be rather large. So we're going to be able to have events there, hold events there. Obviously the natatorium, we'll be able to have some, competitions. It's going to be a competition-sized pool. The CTE building, we're going to have other CTE programs that we're going to, in the future, put over there. Early childhood, we're just looking for a nice, bigger, open space for the youngest of the Lobos.
All right. So it's got to be a pretty exciting time for the campus. I mean, something like this hasn't happened in a long time.
Right. The last bond that was passed was back in 2008. And so, and then the buildings were obviously constructed by about 2010. So we're looking at, 20 years almost down the road. And so we're really excited, and everyone's getting really excited. Now is I tell everyone that it has to look uglier before it looks pretty. So, all the dirt work and everything like that, but they're making great progress, all of our construction managers.
Yeah, okay. When do you think the project's going to be finished?
Most of the projects will be finished in the end of 2027, so next year. So that's what's really exciting, is most of them should be right after another. We're looking at probably the early childhood as towards the end, just because it's a little bit larger facility, a little bit more intricate, and that'll be the end of 2027. But we're planning on having everything open up in the third and fourth quarter of 2027.
Yeah, okay, and I guess, we've had a little bit of weather, which it's inevitable, but that doesn't seem to be slowing things down too much.
No, what's great is these construction companies are so experienced that they know how to handle that. And then also with those timelines, they build in those weather days. And so if we have great weather, then we usually are ahead of schedule, and if we have really bad weather, then we're usually on time. So they always build those into the timelines and the schedules.
So they just work around the weather.
Exactly, yeah. But even when we had that last rainstorm, the next day they're out here pumping water out just so they could work. So they're doing an amazing job, all of them.
Obviously, they have the tools.
Yeah. Yep. When you drive around and see all the different equipment that they have, it's really impressive. And so we're just really excited to see these buildings going up. We're going vertical over the CTE building, so it's not just just dirt. They actually have beams going up. So that's a big milestone when you think about a building.
Oh yeah, right. Something's got to hold it up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that's and cost-wise,
everything's on time and under budget. So we're really excited. We obviously there's contingencies built into all the pricing, and we haven't had to dip into any of those contingencies yet.
Okay. And how much was the bond?
So the total bond was $456 million. So about roughly half of that is for the new construction, and about half of that is for district-wide renovations. A large portion of that going to the high school, just because it's one of our older buildings. But every single campus is going to have some of that money attached to it.
Okay, all right. And how long before you spend it all?
So we're looking at, this is probably a 4 to 5 year process. Now all the new buildings, those are, like I said, end of next year they're going to be up and running. But the total $456 million will be spread over probably 4 to 5 years. The renovation piece, we have to move people from one building to the new buildings before we can renovate that older part. So that's going to be year 4 in the process. But everything will be up and running, and we're really excited.
Well, I mean, with Longview High School with a built-in clinic now, you guys are being pretty progressive. Are you looking at any situations like that, any other things like that in some of these buildings?
I mean, we're partnering with other people. We have we're partnered with a credit union to come in and do the bank, but that's all in due time. We're going to be finalizing the details on that. But yeah, we're really excited to do this for the community as well as just for the students of Longview Independent School District.
That's pretty interesting. Where did the idea for the credit union come from? That's
A lot of CTE programs have a credit union built inside because it's not just for public access and student access. They actually have training programs attached to it, so it's just part of the CTE, the Career Technical Education.
yeah, okay, which is a very popular thing because you come out ready to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, potentially you don't even maybe need any more training at all.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with that. I just know that it's a program that they're going to be able to teach students that have classes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not the guy that does that. You're the guy that does this.
Yep.
Okay. Anything you'd like to add?
No, we're just really excited, and we really appreciate with the patience of the community and the students because we know that there has been hiccups here and there with parking and in and out, but our partners have been doing an amazing job helping us facilitate everything. So I just want to give a shout out to all of our construction companies as well as our 2 program managers.
Yeah, I guess they gotta have a place to put their vehicles. So I guess you had to use some of the lot for that.
Yeah, staging areas, and so what's really nice is they're taking up as minimal space as they can, so that it doesn't impact the students as much as it could.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much.
Appreciate it.